Hey, Joy Chasers, let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions? Sometimes I do. Like your days are full, but your heart is feeling kind of empty. Not to say that anything is wrong, but you're just not feeling it today. And then ask yourself this: if you're feeling like that, when was the last time that you paused and asked, am I living on purpose? Am I chasing joy? Or am I just surviving? If you've been craving more meaning, more clarity, or just a better way to navigate life, let me tell you, you are not alone. Today, I am giving a reaction to a short video that will break down 5 core principles to live by. It's not my video, but I'm going to react to a video that I thought was interesting. So hopefully, as we watch the video together, the young man who is sharing his video on living intentionally will provide practical, thought-provoking principles to chase joy. So let's really get into it.
Over the past 7 years, I have completely decluttered my life, paid off all of my debt, which was $23,000 in 12 months, and started a business to pursue more meaningful work. And all of these things have taught me a tremendous amount about what matters in life and what doesn't. Come here for a second. Here's the truth. A lot of the things I used to care about, I don't anymore. And things I used to not care very much about are now my top priorities. The first principle I live by is be your gatekeeper. When I first started curating my environment and really growing a liking to living a life with less clutter and more clarity, a constant hurdle I kept bumping up against on my journey was how to manage or think about the things coming into my life. Because what I didn't want was for all of my hard work, decluttering, detaching, and developing clarity to be for nothing. I didn't want to revert from having a curated environment, a clutter-free life, to then having a cluttered life with very little clarity. So in addition to building better habits, I started thinking about myself as the sole gatekeeper for my life and my environment. If something does not add value to my life, if I don't believe it's worth my time, energy, or resources, then I don't allow it to enter my life.
I am the same way. I really feel like you have to be a gatekeeper to your life. You have to be. Because if you don't gatekeep what's going on in your own life with your immediate family, then chaos can break out. And just like this young man just stated, gatekeep the things that are important to you. Gatekeep things that you feel will bring you joy. After all, this is the Chasing After Joy channel. I am constantly trying to give advice and tell people of how to chase joy. I am still chasing joy myself. So I try to gatekeep the things that are important to me. Now, I am not saying gatekeep information because I don't gatekeep that. I give that out. That's why I'm doing this today. I hope you would do the same. If you like this video, don't gatekeep it. But what he is saying is to gatekeep your internal heart, gatekeep your mental capabilities, gatekeep the things that are important to you.
Now, being my gatekeeper has not only transformed the way I navigate life and make decisions in confidence, but it has also aided me in maintaining a clutter-free life, a curated environment, even with a growing family. Because it's not just about me anymore, right? It's also about my wife. It's also about my son.
Yes.
And now my wife and I both can stand on the front line and we both can be the gatekeepers of our family's environment, which gives us both the confidence that we are creating and curating a space that we are happy to raise our family in. And when I talk about a space, I'm talking about our home. I'm talking about our relationships. I'm talking about the work we choose to do. It's everything.
I do want to say that he's speaking truth here. He is speaking like someone with wisdom. No matter, just like on the screen, you see, live a good life at any age. Okay. And he's beginning to realize that the young man that is talking and telling us about his 5 principles, he seemed like he's still young. He said he has young children, he has a wife. Even if you're not there yet, you can still live a good life at any age that you are living in this world, because uh, your happiness, your joy is so important, and you got to be able to distinguish or be able to push away those negative interactions that you may be having on a daily basis, or those people who are in your ear telling you to do things that you know you shouldn't be doing, because that's not going to give you the good life that you're looking for. It takes time. Now, I'm not going to say that I've always been the person that I am today. I have not. I've had the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. But that is because we all go through trials and tribulations. God didn't say that we were going to be in this world and be perfect and everything was going to be okay. We have our seasons, we have our ups, and we have our downs. But once you realize that gatekeeping what's internal in you and how to be happy inside, that is going to grow you up, and it's going to give you the wisdom to then know how to proceed with having a good life. Now, can I say that at my age right now, over 50, am I living a good life? I am. It took some time for me to really, really realize that uh, joy is internal, and that I had to love who I was, and that I was not going to let anyone take my joy away. But I know we got to go on with the other principles here. But this first one, if you don't get anything else from this video, you need to get this, is you need to gate keep your internal joy. And the people that are around you, you need to make sure that they are the right people to help you continue to live that good life. And if they're not, move them on. Move them on. Move them out of the way. Because I do know that we're not perfect, but God didn't put us on this earth so that we could be not happy internally. Okay.
What I live by is a question rather than a statement. As a solopreneur, a content creator, and a family man who's actively practicing minimalism and creating a life filled with less clutter and more clarity, the most powerful question I've ever asked myself in business and in life is, what am I optimizing for? What am I optimizing for? And really, I feel like I can unpack this question and talk about the importance of it for hours, but I don't want to bore you, right? So here's a quick sneak peek of what this looks like in my everyday life and why this question has become such a huge game changer for me. So on the personal side of things, When I think about this question, okay, what am I optimizing for in my personal life? And the main thing that comes to mind for me is more available time with my family, to be present in my son's life, to be present with my wife, to be an active partner and participant in our marriage, right? So this means I am being mindful and intentional about what I give my time, attention, and energy to, because I don't want to stretch myself too thin, as they say, right? And create unnecessary stress and worry and busyness in my life. Another
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Optimizing your time, giving your time to what's important to you, your family, your your children, if you have them, your solitude within yourself, if you're just by yourself right now and you just want to be a person who is living that life that is by yourself, because solitude. And my mom actually just sent us a video of her goddaughter's video about, you know, living in solitude. My sister also did a video about living in solitude. And sometimes when people think of that, as it was stated on the video that my mom shared with us, it seems strange. Oh, if you are single, even if you're married, sometimes you need to optimize your time. And sometimes you need that solitude to talk to God. Okay. Sometimes you need that solitude to be by yourself. And sometimes you need that solitude to just say, thank you that I am a blessed person. So, optimizing your time and your space and who you're giving that to is important. So, he's already talked about gatekeeping. He's already talked about optimizing your time. He gave more of his time to his family. Me too. Now that I'm an empty nester, I get more time than my hubby because it's our time. It's our time to enjoy life. We raised our children, even though we're still raising adult children, because they still come talking about mama, this and mama, that, and daddy, I need, so those things still happen, but we optimize the time. And if we get information and someone needs our time, we're thinking first before we say yes. So if you are saying yes to everything, knowing you don't have time, knowing you're not optimizing your time, redo this thing, okay? Redo it and say, no, I need to prioritize. I need to optimize how I am spending my time, and I need to gatekeep my internal joy, and I need to figure out what's important to me. He is giving some gems today. And that's why I wanted to bring this to you and just kind of discuss these things down in the comments if you get an opportunity, because I do know some people watch YouTube on television, on their television. I do. I watch a lot of YouTube on my television. But if you have your phone and you have the time right now, tell us in the comments, what are you gatekeeping? What internal joys are you gatekeeping? Maybe you don't want to even share because you're gatekeeping it. But what are you optimizing? If you want to share that, what are some things that you optimize, you put first before anything else? And are you maturing? If you are young right now and you're looking at this video, are you maturing enough now to really realize that I don't have to do all these things? I need to optimize my time. Okay. If you're, now getting into your wisdom type life, like I am, you're really optimizing. You're really looking at what you want to do, how you want to do it. And the word no comes easier each time.
The piece of this is making sure that I'm also prioritizing the things I value, the things that are important to me, the things that I enjoy, like my health, right? My wife and I, we both enjoy running. We enjoy rock climbing. We enjoy working out together. We cook 95% of our meals. We rarely eat out. These are things that are important to us. So I want to prioritize them, or rather, I want to make sure that I am optimizing them or optimizing for those things in my personal life. Now, on the business side of things, when I think about this question, okay, what am I optimizing for? My answer to that would be to create leverage for myself. To create leverage for myself. And what I mean by that is giving myself the option to say no more often and to take time off when I want.
Yes.
I think to myself that I want my business and the work I'm doing to be a blessing and not a burden. I want my business and the work I'm doing to be a blessing and not a burden. So I'm constantly trying to improve my processes and my workflows, right? I'm striving to be 1% better every single day. So I'm asking myself, okay, what can I automate? What can I delegate? What can I eliminate? What tools and resources can I make better use of? Now, as a business owner, a solopreneur, a content creator, even in my personal life, I have had moments in the past where I felt behind. Raise your hand in the comments if you can relate. I have a very simple yet very profound statement I want to share with you right now. And I'm certain you will see why this has quickly become a principle I live by.
Okay.
Feeling behind in life is only a problem if you live by comparison. Whew.
OMG. Did you hear what he said? Let's see if he's going to say it again.
Right? Feeling behind in life is only a problem if you live by comparison.
Yes. Feeling behind in life only gets to you if you are making it a comparison. I know if you are around my age, living for the Joneses. A lot of people live for the Joneses. They still live for the Joneses. They may not call it that anymore. I am dating myself as far as my age goes. What are y'all calling it now, young people? Because it's definitely a lot of comparisons going on in the world. Social media is running rampant with it. Everybody's house is the aesthetics are all white furniture, all white walls, all white this, everything is perfect. No. If you live in life, your house is not looking like that all the time. That's only just for the camera. I got a little spot right now in my house, right over on the other side are my I call them my little blankets that I lay up and watch TV and cover myself up. They just thrown on the couch right now. This just is my little perfect space for recording. But do you know that so many people look at that little perfect little square space that someone is in and they judge or they compare how their own home is looking based on what they're seeing on camera? No, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And it's not going to bring you joy. You are just chasing the Joneses. You are looking at other people trying to want it, and it's getting you into debt or getting you into trouble more than it is for them. I remember, even being in high school and even when my boys just come, well, everybody else is doing what? No, like my mom said, I don't care about everybody else. And that's what I told my boys. I don't care about everybody else. What are you doing? Okay, because you can't compare everybody else because everybody else, they are living a facade. They're lying. They're not telling the truth. They're only giving you a portion of what is happening to them. So living your life, comparing it to somebody else, don't do it. Don't do it. You are not living a happy life. You're not chasing joy if you are living like that. I'm telling the young people that. So if you're young and you're listening to me right now, don't do it. That little square that you're looking at in my space right now is all nice and perfect and clean. Okay. On the other side, it's my daily life. I have things out of place. Like I just said, I have a blanket there. I have cards on my mantle where we just celebrated Father's Day. Okay, so there are cards on the mantle. I have some rice packets out on my counter in the kitchen. Nobody's life is perfect. Don't live your life like that. In order to live a good life, you got to gatekeep. You got to optimize. You got to not compare. He is giving some good advice. And I am so glad that I have the opportunity to react to it, share it with you. And then I hope that you are then reacting as well. Let's go on to see what else he has to say. He's doing good. Wow, these are some good ones.
It's deep, huh? See, when we constantly compare our progress and achievements to those of others, it becomes easy to perceive ourselves as falling behind. However, suppose we focus on our own personal growth, our own goals and aspirations, rather than measuring our success against others. What would happen? Well, in that case, the feeling of being behind in life loses significance and allows us to focus on our own unique journey and personal milestones. But how do we do this, right? That's the magic question. Well, I found that this works best when we first commit to changing the way we think. Check out this metaphor I use to help illustrate why we feel behind in life. And just so you know, the poet in me couldn't help himself. Okay, I want to take us back and talk about the story of the tortoise and the hare, a story that is laced with life lessons and values. Now, we all know how this story goes and how it ends, right? In short, the tortoise and the hare race, and the hare is expected to win because he's faster, right? And instead of the tortoise trying to run and keep up with the hare, he decides to run his own race at his own pace, focusing on his own journey. And in the end, he wins. Now, as I was thinking about this story, the poet in me was drafting metaphors on top of metaphors for this message. And it dawned on me that what if the tortoise is a physical representation of you and I, and the hare represents a way of thinking, a mindset that we have? See, in other words, mentally, we're thinking like the hare. We want our journeys in life to progress fast as if it's a race. We want to achieve everything we've always wanted now. But physically, it seems as though things are moving slowly, which makes us believe and feel like we're behind in life. Yet, if somehow we could just shift our perspective to think more like the tortoise, to run this race we call life at our own pace, focusing on our own journeys, then maybe we won't feel behind in life, right?
Or how many joy chasers feel like that? I know that I used to feel like that. I used to feel like, oh, I'm not accomplishing this goal in a timely manner. I need to go faster, faster, faster. No patience. The young um, Gen Z children, which is my children, they're constantly wanting the now, the now, the now, the now, the now. Okay. And what if you didn't focus on all of that? What if you just started to live life at your own pace? And not to say when it gets done, because that's called procrastination. But what I'm saying is you give yourself goals and you do things based on how you feel that it needs to be done when it comes to your personal life. What if you started doing that? You feel so much better. You'll feel like you're living a good life. Y'all, I feel good. I feel like I am chasing joy. I feel like I am living the good life. As I stated before, I didn't always feel like that. That's because everybody goes through their seasons, trials, and tribulations. Everybody has ups and downs in their lives, whether it's in their personal life or their professional life. Nobody's perfect. But with all of that wisdom and all of those things that I have gone through, I can truly say it was a lesson learned. And I started to take those lessons and then began to mature myself to live my life happy with joy within. Okay. Joy within. Happiness is on the outside. Here I am smiling, but the joy is on the inside. I learned to love who I was, who I am, not was, who I am. I love to love who I am, and that I would not let anyone take this joy that I have. I wouldn't let anyone take that away. Not anymore. Okay. I have at times I did let people take my joy away professionally. But I got it back. Okay. Personally, sometimes my joy was taken away. But I got it back. I can truly say it does take growth. So if you are new at this thing and chasing joy, don't worry. You're going to get there. You are going to get there. No worries. Okay? You're just going to take your time as you get there. And once you get there, you're going to be like, whoo, woosa. That's how I feel. That's how I can come on here and talk about these things now and be able to say, I have joy. I chase joy. Joy, chasing joy never stops. You're constantly chasing joy. Do I have my ups and downs still? Yeah, I'm not happy all the time. But guess what? I know now how to keep my joy. When that joy go away, I live in that moment for the moment and I bring it back in and I say, I am not letting no one take my joy away. And I may do stuff a little different. So this young man is giving some gems about how to live intentionally, how to chase joy. He's not saying chasing joy. I am. He's saying living intentionally. I call it chasing joy. He's really, really giving us some things to think about.
Moving. The fourth principle I live by is focusing 100% on what you can control. And I love this, especially following the conversation we just had about feeling behind in life, because sometimes the frustrations we feel, the pressures we put on ourselves, the reasons we overthink, why we feel behind at times, is sometimes we're giving too much of our energy to things that are out of our control.
Yes.
And again, raise your hand in the comments if you can relate, because this is why this is a great principle to live by and why I chose to talk about it and live by it myself. See, when we focus on what's within our control, we gain power, we improve, and as cliche as it sounds, we start to see change in our lives. And I have to make sure that I say this because there's so much information out there about how doing this one thing, or if you do this list of things, it will change your life and it'll transform your life. And I'm guilty of sharing these thoughts and ideas as well, but the simple action of focusing 100% on what you can control is so simple, too simple even, and so practical that we often overlook the positive impact it can have on our life.
Oh my gosh. Did he give a word? I struggled. And if you've listened to my videos, you know that I've talked about this on many of my videos because when I first started doing videos on YouTube, well, first I started with audio podcasting. When I first started that, I don't want to say I wasn't in a good place in my life, but I really, really followed the yellow brick road. Meaning I followed what everybody else wanted from me. I followed what everyone said was right when it came to my career, when it came to my personal life. What everybody else said for me to do, that's what I did. And some of those things were out of my control. My mom, if you followed my story, my mom said that that was the hardest thing for me is accepting the things that I cannot control. Or no, accepting what I can control and kind of letting go of the things that I cannot. I have the serenity prayer, and you've heard me say it before. I have the serenity prayer on my keychain. I have the serenity prayer as an angel in my purse. I have the serenity prayer in my office at work. I have the serenity prayer in my home. That is something that I have to constantly say. I have to constantly tell myself to accept the things that cannot control, or accept the things that I can't control and let go. But I will put it up so you can see it if you don't know what it is. But accepting the things that you can control and doing the things that you can control is your best bet to being happy, to chasing joy. And if you don't do that, let me tell you, you're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable. And you may not show being miserable on the outside, because I'm always a smiling type of person. But on the inside, some years back, oh my gosh, I was burning up inside. I was angry because some things that I couldn't control what was going on in my life at the time. And it burned me up. It ate me up because I was like, I need to control it. But when I let it go and only accepted the things that I could control, let me tell you, joy was inside of my heart. My name is Joy, and joy was in my heart. Okay. Because at that point I was like, let it go. That's all. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Cause I'm only controlling what I can control and forget the rest, because it will eat you up inside. So, wow. He's saying things that I know, but it's important for everyone else to know and to grasp, hold on to that so that you can start living a good life. Mhm.
Now, speaking of positivity, the next principle on my list is the cherry on top, so to speak. And that is your failures are fertilizer for growth. Your failures are fertilizer for growth. In all the failures and hiccups I've had in business and in life, there has always been a lesson for me to learn. And those lessons have taught me to view failure from a completely different perspective. Because here's what I know. Our perspective can either empower us and help us continue to grow, or it can limit our growth. And it's up to us to decide which perspective we believe and are choosing to subscribe to.
I used to think of failure. I used to always say failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. I think that is why I was where I was in my life and really wasn't living life with joy, because I was always saying failure is not an option. So I was always trying to control things that I had that was out of my control. Just what he just said. I was trying to control things that were out of my control because I said failure is not an option. So therefore, I got to do it no matter what, even if it's not in my control. That is a terrible way to be. Now, the way that I think about failure as something that I can identify and move on for the betterment of who I am. Yes, sometimes you may fail at something. Okay. You fail at it and you move on. So we have listened to the 5 principles. And from what he is saying, they're simple, right? I know, that living with intention, or as I say, chasing joy, doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. Because I still don't. I'm still, like I say, chasing joy is a journey. Okay. Even though I thought that I had to have it figured out, I now, as I've matured in my growth of chasing joy, I know it's a journey for me. Okay. Chasing joy is about showing up for your life on purpose, making choices that reflect who you are and who you want to become. So, what that means is being intentional with how you spend your time, who you surround yourself with, and what type of energy you bring into each day is chasing joy. Okay, so joy chasers, if this sparks something in you, go ahead and give it a like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more Chasing After Joy content. So I'll see you in the next one. And as I always say, until the next time, love who you are and let no one, and I mean no one, take your joy away. Bye.